All right, we're live.
We're live.
We're live. All right, let's go ahead and I want to retweet this. We got to do all of our marketing work now until we get a
Yeah.
social media intern. We will give you $1 an episode. All you have to do is just retweet and share. We could have someone create like 30 different accounts.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, this is IC's show. We'll do some monologuing. We'll do some talking. We'll get into Rajat's 5 questions. Then we'll say where the and then we'll go where the coffee goes.
There he is.
Good morning, Raj.
Good morning.
So, all right. Oh yeah. So the coffee's on. Live stream is going to be a podcast now. We're going to grab the audio from each show and we're going to put it on. We're going to put it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Don't worry, we will talk NCAA. We figure we'll get right into that.
But Marco will still be keeping the stream, right?
As of right now, the plan is yes, we'll keep the stream going because that's the only But if we don't keep the stream going, there'll definitely be there'll definitely still be a podcast for it. But the stream still is alive and well as of right now.
Do you want me to make a Coffee's On bracket group?
Group chat, group me? Yeah, well, we could do that.
No, a group challenge on ESPN.
Yeah, group challenge. Yeah, so we could probably do that after the show. We will post it, right? We'll post that after the show where people can go because you have to have a link to it, right?
Yeah, I can make it right now.
All right, perfect. You want to make it right now? Wednesdays and Fridays. We'll try to do it as much as we can. We won't have a show next Monday. Marco's got a doctor's appointment and work, but yeah, Wednesdays and Fridays. Those you can always expect Coffee's on those days. Mondays are the surprise shows when everything is good. Right now, we're Armand's on location at the Coffee's On. He's in the living room. I'm in my room because if you guys remember,
yeah, Marco, we're out here. It's
how's the weather over there in the living room? Did you open the blinds?
Oh, maybe I should do that.
It's fine. You don't have to. Oh, okay. He's going. Look at that. On the move. Uh-oh. That's ESPN trying to get in on this now. All right. Hang on. I got the website open and audio's going for some reason on there.
Tournament challenge open too.
Maybe that was yours. Okay.
Should I make it? I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Shouldn't be. Should I make it public or private?
Public.
Public.
Make it a Publix.
Damn.
I like Publix. Winn-Dixie's and Publix. Or Publix. Oops, I said that wrong. Armand, I got a couple questions for you right off the bat. I told you I was gonna have some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a fun one for you.
Okay.
And I got one that it's a tie-in. These two tie in with each other. So what was the saddest you felt after an NCAA tournament game? And obviously we can go back to KU, but so yesterday was the 9-year anniversary of Missouri losing to Norfolk State in the opening round of the tournament. And I'm reminded each year of it because I had posted about it on Facebook. And so right after they had lost, I had took my troubles down to Hy-Vee, and I remember the scene. A bunch of Missouri fans were in there. We were all mourning together at the Hy-Vee. People were buying just junk food from the freezer aisle. I had bought 3 tubs. I had bought 3 tubs of ice cream that day because I was keen on making just a big ice cream sundae to soak my sorrows into. So there have been plenty of Missouri tournament losses where they have failed to make it to the Final Four. They never made it to the Final Four in program history. So
wow.
There was the loss to UConn in the Elite Eight way back when with that 07 Missouri team. I still have their poster because I went and saw them in a exhibition game that year. And I still keep that poster because that's one of the best Missouri teams I've seen in my lifetime. So that was a sad one. That probably is a very close second, but the Norfolk State hurts more because, once again, that was a number 2 Missouri team that had high hopes that year, and it utterly quickly came to a close when they lost to the 15 seed Norfolk State, who's back in the tournament this year playing in a play-in game. And if they win their game, they will go up against Gonzaga. And if they beat Gonzaga and Missouri beats Oklahoma, we have a rematch of that game 9 years ago from yesterday. So that I'm looking forward to hopefully that one coming. I don't think they'll beat Gonzaga if they win their play-in game, but that's who I'll be rooting for if that happens. What about you? What is the saddest tournament March Madness moment for you?
Well, I mean, sorry, I was commenting on that, so I had to
go
mute myself.
You were doing tournament bracket challenge stuff.
Mine's kind of, the same way. The upset that probably people would expect me to pick. It's that Northern Iowa KU game, 2010 NCAA tournament, second round. I think KU had lost maybe twice that season, 3 times. One of their best teams, you had Cole Aldrich, you had Sharon Collins, the number 1 overall seed. Obama picked us to win it all. So I thought everything was in our arsenal. It was going to work our way. And then it's Persian New Year, and Northern Iowa shows up, and they have a half Persian guy named Ali Farokhmanish, and he drops, I don't know, all the threes he throws, it seemed like. Let's look at his stats. But basically, that Northern Iowa team, no-name Northern Iowa team, upsets us and loses their next game. So it wasn't an upset that was worth it. But it that one really sucked. I think I was a little teary. But we were expecting to go all the way. Yep. Let's see, that was 2010. So Duke ended up winning, right? Beating Butler. While Butler was
do you remember who was side of the bracket Butler or Duke was on, or who was on KU's side? Maybe not. No, that's such a long time.
I do not know, but I don't think either of them were on KU's side. You know what I mean? I mean, who was on KU's region is what I should say. I'm looking at the bracket right now. The team on KU side was Michigan State, a 5 seed.
Well, who was in the final? Who would, if KU made it to the Final Four, would they have been playing Duke or Butler? Is what I was wondering.
They would have played Butler.
So possibly if they would have made one of those hypotheticals.
Yeah. But that's a big what if, because that was second round. They just didn't play well. Northern Iowa showed up that game. So, it is what it is. Upsets happen.
Of course.
It's sad to be on one end of one, but oh well.
Do you remember a time when an unexpected surprise just boosts your happiness? We don't expect to receive anything, but when we do, it's a pleasant surprise. And I asked that because right after that Hy-Vee trip to the get ice cream, I had gone down to the Hy-Vee gas station and I was still wearing my Missouri stuff, and I wanted the largest soda I could get, so I got one of those 64-ounce sodas. And the guy working the register, he let me have that and 2 snacks for free because I was the first Missouri fan to come in, and he showed empathy by letting me just have what I want. And I remember that just made my day after the loss. It's like, you know what? That's hope. That's that. That's good. There's good people in Kansas who are nice to Missouri fans. They empathize with us because I think that came the year following KU's loss to Northern Iowa. So I remember when Northern Iowa beating KU, the Missouri lost to Norfolk, and then K-State maybe had lost to Butler the next year when Butler was making their second trip around or third trip at the tournament. Mm-hmm. But I just will always remember that right after that game.
Yeah, you are breaking up a little, just to let you know, but just at times. But I don't know if it's. I don't know of a time that a specific time where I got surprised, but it's always good to get surprised. You aren't expecting something good to happen, and for you, it was in a moment that it didn't seem like a lot of good was happening with MU losing. But then I don't know, you got a free candy bar, and that may have gave you a minute of happiness or whatever.
Chips.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what it is. But I can't think of a specific time.
All right. Well, how about this? What's something you tried really hard to like, but you just couldn't? Mine's milk. I don't like white milk. I just can't drink it. Chocolate milk, I'm fine with. Milk though, I just can't have it. Not in, you know me. I eat my cereal dry, and it's just one of those things I've never came around on. Skim milk, I've had it once with cereal but that was after a night of going out to the bars. So like the taste, I was just hungry.
Why would you have milk after going to the bars?
Listen, man, I didn't make the cereal. Someone had made the cereal for me. They had used skim milk. It was my first time trying skim milk. I didn't want to turn down the corn pops or corn puffs, whatever they're called. I just went. When you ever been just so hungry when you're drunk or after a night out, you just pig out on whatever.
Eat a quesadilla or eat my leftover dinner. I don't eat skim milk, but
no, well, it's cereal. There just happened to be skim milk in it. Listen, man, it wasn't my apartment.
Oh, maybe that's a good thing to try. Skim milk and beer, maybe that's the mixture, the Marco mixture.
Pour some when you're shotgunning, pour it in the bottom. People do that, man. People will put pickles in there. It's just people will come up with so many different things to put in their beer when they're shotgunning it. But what about you? Is there something that you've tried to like but just couldn't?
Taking shots. That's something. Yeah.
You gotten pretty good at that over the years, though.
I don't know if I have. The times I've got good is when no one looks. So take that with how you will. But I don't know. Repeat the question. You said something I've tried to like and I can't like. When it comes to food, I don't know, because there's a few special things that I feel like my mom says cinnamon rolls. I think my mom's allergic to cinnamon, though. Like one of the types of cinnamon. I don't know which one. There's not a lot of stuff when it comes to food that I don't like. Like it's weird things like horseradish, relish. When an eggplant, there's a Persian dish or some Persian dishes that eggplant, they cook it in a way that it gets mushy. If you know what baba ganoush is, something like that. I don't like that stuff. Lily's right. Kamikaze shots. That's my thing. But those are the foods that I don't like. The foods I don't like. So I don't really go and try relish or horseradish. So I don't know if there's something that that I don't like.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep trying because there aren't too many foods that it comes that I don't like. I'm trying to think of maybe something that's not food related.
I know you love the leftovers. If there's leftovers that's in the house, you make sure to let Armand know.
Yes. And maybe sometimes growing up, those roommates may have forgotten that rule, but my main thing is this. Like I will eat it because it's basic food. It might be spaghetti, it might be taco meat. I can eat that. I will eat that. And I'd rather eat that if it's going to go to waste. The other day, we had a pizza roll on the plate, and I wasn't going to take it because there were two left, and I took one, so I knew the other was Terrell's. Didn't even think it. 15 minutes later, he's like, I'm throwing it away. That's all he had to tell me. He didn't have to say, no, wait. He didn't have to say, hey, do you want this? Because he knew I was going to say no. He said, I'm throwing it away. I'm like, what? He's like, do you want it? Like, if you're going to throw it away. So I took it so he doesn't waste it. I'm like a garbage disposal. You shouldn't, you don't waste things. You don't want it, then you come to me. Because you remember at the house, we had so much food that would just get expired. And it looked like good food.
I remember that fridge. Marco doesn't like moldy stuff in the fridge. And that fridge was like, that was Moldy Island. You heard of Snake Island. That was Moldy Island. A lot of greenery in the fridge. And I ain't talking about vegetables.
Yeah.
You're Lily pulling a quote from way back when. That's it, folks. If you want to, you got to start treating Armand like a garbage disposal when it comes to food.
Because like my dad, when I was in high school, even early on in college, and I'd come home, if he was off or if he was home, and I sit in the kitchen. I sit on the counter. He just opens the fridge and says, "You need to do some cleaning." And it's not the regular cleaning you think that comes with cleaning. What he means when he opens the fridge, you need to do some cleaning. They have leftovers. They have fruit. They have food that's going to go bad that they need me to eat and take care of. So kind of started like that. But yeah,
before there was Duke, Armand was the pet.
Yeah.
Feed the scraps to Armand.
Yeah. Duke, my mom feeds Duke everything, but when it comes to with Lily though, right? Actually, she does finish her wings, but like there's sometimes I can't remember if I finished her wing for her before, but sometimes people eat the wing. There's still meat left on it.
Oh, yeah.
When Arian was little, he'd eat ribs or steak or even wings, and there'd still be meat. Well, that's my brother. It's okay. I don't care. I don't think that's gross. So, get some more protein.
Get some more protein. I like the salad story that you always talk about with Arian. I think it's because he's too busy eating the salad. That's why he's not eating the meat. He's too busy
Arian. So, right, we do the thing where usually we eat salad last. Well, Arian eats salad last because Arian, or at least growing up, didn't like his food touching. So, which a lot of people do, but me, I'm not picky. I mix all my food in the same plate. Just make it all one bite. But Arian didn't like it touching, so he'd eat the main food, and then no one has touched the salad. So then what he does, in a way of being nice, what you need to do is you ask, if everyone wants salad. But no one has touched the salad. So he asks, "Oh, do you want salad? Do you want salad?" The reason he's asking is because he's about to eat out of the salad bowl.
Yeah.
Because he would used to get another plate. And I would tell him, "Why are you getting another plate? You're wasting dishes." Then he's eating out of the bowl. I'm like, "Why are you eating the bowl?" He's like, "I don't want to waste a dish." Okay, so I don't know what to do. So basically before he goes ham, I just take about half the salad or what I would do. So then at least I can have some salad my first and seconds, and then he can go finish the salad. But at least with my mom would sometimes make 2 salads because Arian doesn't like tomatoes. So make one for Arian and then one for me and everyone else. But I don't care,
It'd be like that sometimes. Before we get on to Rajat's 5 questions of the day, Arian even hopping in on that. It's Raj and Arian's 5 questions. NASCAR, the names are always changing when it comes to the races and the Spring Cup stuff. The Kansas Speedway just released what their NASCAR Cup Series race at the Kansas Speedway is going to be on May the 2nd. Armand, what do you think of this? Coming on May 2nd at the Kansas Speedway, it is the Bushy McBush Race 400, brought to you by, can you guess who the sponsor is?
Bush Beans?
No. No, but it is Bush. It is something. It's Bush Light.
George Bush.
Not George Bush. That would be something in Texas, I would think. But no, it's the Bush Light. It's the Bushy McBush 400 at the Kansas Speedway on May 2nd.
Bushy McBush.
Presented by Bush Light at the Kansas Speedway. I just saw that on Twitter right now. It's very interesting. Names are always changing in the NASCAR Cup Series races, but we love talking about our home city, Kansas City. So that's what we'll be hosting on May 2nd, the Bushy McBush at the Kansas Speedway, presented by Bush Light.
That's pretty funny.
Raj, first question, wants to know our thoughts on the Chiefs free agency moves. We talked about already last week, of course, with the cut of Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, the 2 starting tackles, not coming back for the 2021 season. Of course, Mitchell Schwartz had his back injuries that we never figured out what exactly had happened. It was kind of a mystery throughout the season. Turns out comes in the off season. He posts having back surgery. Eric Fisher, we know about him tearing his Achilles in the AFC Championship game, not being able to play in the Super Bowl. But the Chiefs immediately on day 2 of the free agency, or excuse me, day 1, it was Monday, addressed their needs at the offensive line with the signing of Joe Thuney. Make sure I got that right. Joe Thuney, former Patriot, hasn't missed a game, played every single snap when he started the last 4 seasons in New England. They're paying him $80 million 4 years, $80 million. What are your thoughts on the Chiefs bringing in former Patriot, former North Carolina State at the left guard position? Do you think they gave him too much money? Do you think that you know what, spend the money on the line and let's focus on other needs when it comes to draft? How do you feel about this move from Brett Veach? Do we still trust in him?
I mean, short answer, obviously, first of all, are we still trusting him? Yes, that's going to be thrown out. I don't need to expand on that. Second, short answer, good move. You want the long answer. They did pay 80 million. How are they getting that 80 million? Maybe they got money trees. Who knows? But if you look at the breakdown of the contract, it's a 5-year contract, 4-year contract.
I think I said 4 year, but I think it's 5.
Well, the first year on salary, he's making less than 1 million. His signing bonus was, I don't know, something teen million. I can't remember the exact amount. But the way they constructed it is that first year is a 6-figure salary. So first of all, they're mathematicians, they're accountants. I don't know if they file for taxes at the Chiefs, but they do things that I don't know. I don't know what they know, who they know, but there are teams. So we got to clap for them. I think when it comes to Thum, whatever, Big Joe, we'll call him. I think
Big Joe.
Of course, it's a good signing. What did we say? What have we said all season? What have we said since Super Bowl? What have we said for draft? We need offensive line. That is an offensive line. That's a 2-time Super Bowl winning champion, someone who protected the best. I always say that when you look at Brady, Rodgers, Favre, Brady, Manning, those teams always had good offensive linemen. Even those Patriots, even before that era, before Thumi came, because I think he came in 2010, 2011. Before he came, that era had those guys, big beards, big bellies, always there, always did their job and did it well. Those 4 quarterbacks I named, those are known as the 4 greatest of all time. Some of the 4 greatest of all time. And that's only based on my knowledge. We have someone who people want to consider the greatest of all time, or will be, hopefully soon. That's what they want to consider. You got to do something, and that's protect. And we talk about that all the time. Protect your investment. Don't just spend money. Invest in it. So he spent 80 million. He listened to me. He said, okay, Armand, you want me to invest? I will invest 80 million. That's not what I thought. But you know what? If 80 million is going to buy us at least, 20% protection, right? I'm using basic probability, but 1 out of 5 offensive linemen, right? And then you bring back LDT. You have Niang, right? Then you got 3 people who Chiefs fans really like. And it would be a perfect world if you had 5 really good offensive linemen. But 3 so far is pretty good for me. You go to the draft, you draft 1, maybe you draft 2. So it seems like that just fits in the mold of where were we now? Where were we 2 weeks ago? Where did we want to be? Have a good offensive line. Let's say that's the goal. And Veach is saying, I will do everything I can to reach us to that goal. And this Thumi signing obviously reaches us to that goal. So that's a long way of saying, regardless of the money, it's still a good signing.
Yeah. So breakdown of the contract. You're right. It's a 5-year, not 4-year. 3 years with the potential out in 2024. It's $48 million guaranteed. Base salary is $990,000 with that $3.4 million coming in signing bonus. He's only going to be a $4.5 million cap hit this year for the Chiefs. Now, next year, it's going to be quadrupled, and he's going to be making $17.8 million. But with TV deals and a year where hopefully the NFL season can get back to some of its normal revenue, the cap space for next year will rise. And my quick thoughts on it is, people were asking, Twitter was quick to judge and say, why are the Chiefs signing an interior lineman? Why not address the outside needs? Because we talked about the tackle position is very important, especially the left tackle. The left tackle. Blindside taught us that from the first 5 minutes of the movie. But do you remember, if we go back and watch the Super Bowl, where was the pressure coming from for the Chiefs? Where were the Buccaneers attacking? Where was the Buccaneers defense getting at Patrick Mahomes the most?
Wherever Mahomes was.
Well, yes, but it was through the interior. Mm-hmm. It was the interior line. Mm-hmm. And that right there, we can trust Mahomes to use his legs to get to the outside. We saw it plenty of times last year where he had to use his legs to scramble for a first down using the outside. It all matters about up the middle, because what is one thing we wish Patrick Mahomes did more of? And that's step up into the pocket. That's where we've seen him shine as a quarterback on plays. You can go back and look at his film from the first AFC Championship against New England. Some of his best throws came from when he stepped up into the pocket. When you have a young quarterback, and this is where I feel like that's why the Chiefs addressed the middle of their offensive line first, is because that's where the pressure was coming from in the big game. And so that's why I like them going out and getting someone like a Joe Thuney, who now, if you address the need of your left tackle in the draft, you're going to be getting, let's say they get a first round Tevin Jenkins. He's going to be learning from one of the best linemen in the NFL right next to him, because Lucas Niang, I feel like, is going to be on your right side next to the doctor, because that's where he played most of his college snaps.
Assuming the doctor, I know the doctor said he's coming, but I'm just, you know what? He is 30. What is he? 29,
assuming
31?
He's the starter again.
Okay. But yeah, that's the thing. It was a good signing. I think we do agree on that. We expanded on it. Of course, nothing in this world can be perfect. So there are a few little, gimmicks in that signing, whether it's, did we spend a little too much money, or was it the exact positional need? People will argue on both things. Right. But in the end, I'm a big believer in offensive line. I would assume that they can play at least two positions of those five.
So this is where the fun fact comes in. All right. So Joe Thuney, like I said, he played at North Carolina State. He was the left tackle there in college. Guess what grade PFF gave him going into the draft before his rookie season?
Well, great.
He was the best
when he was picked in the draft.
He was picked in the third round by the New England Patriots in 2016. Armand, he was graded the best tackle coming out of college by Pro Football Focus.
In what year?
2016.
Oh, 2016.
He's only played 8 professional snaps at the tackle position, which is fine. But so he hasn't really played at the tackle position since college.
Wow.
But that right there tells me, once again, Reed and Veach found another lineman who could be interchangeable at the guard.
Which is why they paid him $80 million.
Exactly. Before we move on to our next question, it is Happy St. Patrick's Day. Grandma Janice showing up into the group chat.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's one thing we have to tell our podcast listeners for when this goes up on the podcast. We do a live stream with a live audience coming in with the comments. So everything that we take poll questions from is from our live comment section. But yes, it is a Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am not wearing any green right now. So Armand, if you came in and pinched me, I can't do anything because that's my fault.
This morning I drove Terrell to work, big St. Patrick's fan. But the only green I had was like one line of green that's on my shoes. So, and I'm on Excel right now, and that's green. So I'm kind of,
Well, look at the headset. You got some green on the headset too.
Oh yeah.
My favorite thing back in the day was just tell people I'm wearing green underwear, so you can't get me. Or I'd wear the green.
But then what happens when you tell someone that and they're like, "Show me." Then what do? You either show them your underwear is not green. That's a lose-lose.
I'd be like, "Weirdo, get away from me." That's what I say to them. Did you ever go to the St. Patrick's Day parades? Was that ever?
I never did, but my mom's over here in my ear telling me how St. Patrick's Day is one of her favorite holidays. Going out to the bars, so fun. Going out to Westport. Like I never really went.
Well, I remember when our roommate Ethan was trying to get us all to go to Chicago for St. Patrick's Day, because you know how they do it in Chicago on these days. It's like a big bar crawl out there you can do. They even color the Hudson? Is that the Hudson in Chicago? I don't even know.
I don't know what river. I don't know if it is the Hudson, but
they color it green.
They color the river green, yeah.
But yeah, so
I think the Hudson's in New York.
Yeah, the Hudson's probably in New York. I don't know, man. I'm stuck in Kansas. I haven't been to any of those. Only been to New York, but I didn't.
I'm sure Raj is going to tell us, but
so anyway, I was in the St. Patrick's Day one year. I can't remember. I think it was the the Guadalupe float. My cousin, it was a big deal for our family to go each year, to go and see the parade with our cousins. And then one year we got to be in it. My mom always likes to tell me that I was baptized by, because I'm Catholic, so I was baptized by an Irish priest. He, in fact, would walk. He would dress up with like a leprechaun with the hat every year and walk in the parade. But it's just good times, good memories. I haven't been in a long time, but I just remember. Whenever I think of St. Patrick's Day, it's always the parade as a kid because we used to go all the time to those. But now Chiefs fans are treating it. Now it's another day just to celebrate Patrick Mahomes. If you go and look on Twitter, the Chiefs already posting "Happy St. Patrick's Day" and tagging Patrick Mahomes in it. So it's just now in the area in Kansas City, it's become Patrick Mahomes Day, which is fine. You can.
Hey, who's the most famous Patrick in the area? Like, what's a famous Patrick in the area? Exactly. I don't. There were a few Patricks who went to my high school, but I don't know if anyone's too famous.
I don't even know if Patrick Mahomes is Irish, but what I do know is the Chiefs are getting him some offensive line players, and there's still some key free agents out there on the market. And Arian addressed that with, should the Chiefs get Riley Reiff, who was just cut from the Minnesota Vikings this year? He was the best Minnesota Vikings offensive lineman this previous season. Or should they go get recently cut former Chief Rodney Hudson, since they skipped out on signing Damian Williams? Oh, and Lily filling in, it's just called the Chicago River. Very creative, Chicago.
Arian, the group name is Coffee's On. COFFE''S space on. I put it in the comments. Was that a hard like group? I didn't know. I couldn't find a link. I don't know how to find a freaking link.
Did they give you a link?
No, they didn't give me a link.
No. But anyway, so Rodney Hudson and Riley Reiff, two key offensive linemen still on the market. How would you feel if the Chiefs went out and signed another offensive lineman rather than a skill player that's still available on the open market?
How would I feel if they signed? Let's see. You said, how would I feel? I don't know. How would you feel?
The Chiefs went out and spent big. Okay, how would I feel? I would like it, actually. I would like it they went out and got another experienced offensive lineman. Trent Williams already just signed with the 49ers. He's now the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. That's great. That's awesome. Go get your money and get your bag. The Chiefs, be smart spenders here. Hey,
let's go back. What did Marco say? When someone...
With someone like Patrick Mahomes.
That was you. That was you.
You're funny. With someone like Patrick Mahomes, want to put experienced linemen around him. And I think once again, the NFL draft this year, top 3 positions, one of them is the offensive line. There's so much debt and so much talent at that position going into the draft. I think it's important for the Chiefs to go out. If they can spend the money on Rodney Hudson, get your center now. Get him now. And when you go into the draft, that way your offensive line is forfeits already done. Because what we say, we already got Lucas Niang, you got the doctor. Now you got Rodney Hudson in the middle and Joe Thuney at the left guard. Now you're just worried about a left tackle. But I feel like that interior right there is settled. In the draft, I think that's where you go. It gives the Chiefs, if they sign a key offensive lineman, it gives them the opportunity to go and address your defense, especially the linebacker and defensive line position. Now they re-signed Taco Charlton yesterday, and I think that was a good signing. That was one defensive player that I wanted them to retain if they were going to get one of their free agents back. They let Passanio walk, Tanoh Passanio, former second-round pick. I'm fine with that after this season, seeing him how he performed on the defensive line. He was more of a special teams guy. But if you go out and you get another offensive lineman, then you're able to address your defense first. And you can still build depth and get your left tackle in the second or third round. Now they got 2 fourth-round picks with the compensatory pick coming in. I just think that puts him in such a better position come draft time, and more if they got their offensive line figured out first. And once again, just putting experience around there. Putting experience. People were saying yesterday if the Chiefs were to get Rodney Hudson and Trent Williams, which I think wasn't going to happen because of money purposes, no one was going to get after Patrick Mahomes. If you get your interior line set, especially with Rodney Hudson at the center, who I wish the Chiefs would have re-signed back before he became a free agent, and people were criticizing the Raiders for even letting him go. He was only going to be a $2 million cap hit on the Raiders' salary this year. If you can get a contract like that where he can get a low cap hit, something around that numbers, do it. Do it. Get an experienced center who has started every single game but one since 2016. Mm-hmm. He's only missed one game since 2016. I'm trying to figure out how old he is. 31 years old. You can get him on if you can get him, why not? He was a former second round pick for Kansas City back in the 2011 draft. I would love to see Rodney Hudson back before they go out and get an offensive tackle.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think the big thing is going to be, this is an Armand answer to your question.
Yeah, that's fine.
Addressing need versus affordability. So, you just spent $80 million on your offensive line, and the people aren't always right. But let's say the people were thinking that after you spent that much money on Mahomes, you're not going to have a lot of money to spend on other things. Well, then you spend $80 million on offensive line. So then the people are going to be thinking, if you didn't have a lot of money, but you found $80 million, how much more money do you have? The people think you have zero. So if the people are correct and they have little money, then they got to look, okay, what's the need we need? Marco says we need at least one more starter on the offensive line. Well, should we go get free agency? Should we spend X amount? And I want to know how much X is going to be. How much is it going to be to bring back Hudson, right? How much is it going to be to bring back, you said the Minnesota guy, or the Minnesota guy.
Riley Reef.
Yeah, Riley Reef. It's hopefully not going to be, I saw that smile. It's not going to be 80 million, right? No. It's but what I'm saying is, or at least what I'm trying to say is, you already spent a lot on an offensive lineman. So you're assuming that you can't spend a medium amount on offensive linemen unless it's going to be maybe a two-year deal. So will that lineman, those two people you mentioned, will they want to take whatever money the Chiefs are going to give them if it's a small amount? That's kind of my kind of 2 cents.
Your 2 cents.
And then if you think about, the other needs, what I would ask is, okay, what are the other needs? And why can't you get it in the draft? And if you answer that, then you go free agency, you see how much money you have, you spend it on that.
Boom.
I mean, I think maybe I really explained how the free agency works in a simple, I think I just explained what everyone already knows, but
the cap space is a facade. I think I said that right. It's
facade.
Facade? It's facade? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I used to say facade, and then people said, no, it's facade. And I was like, oh, and now you're telling me it's facade. It's facade. Facade.
Marco, when I tell you something, don't be going to other people and tell them the wrong thing. This is going to be, what is it called? This is going to be the relegation all over again.
Oh, man. Oh, relegation, regulation, exhibition. Arian says possibly. Go ahead now.
No. I was just going to keep my jokes. What were you going to say? You go. Arian needs entertainment. He's in the car right now, with some friends driving to Colorado.
Oh yeah, he's going skiing.
Yeah, or snowboarding. I don't know what he's doing.
That is one way to spend a Persian New Year.
I guess, yeah. Well, my senior spring break, I went skiing. So,
was your senior spring break around the Persian New Year also?
It wasn't. I think I came back the day of or day before.
Mm.
And Arian's come back the day after or something or around then. So,
Have you ever missed the Persian New Year with your family?
oh yeah, I have. When we visited Marty in Plano for spring break a few years ago. I think that was Persian New Year because that was one of the most fun days I've had. We hung out with his friends. We hung out with Ethan's older brother, Drew, and it was just a good time. Wow, Raj remembers.
It's all right. It's okay. We got some UEFA soccer today, or UEFA Champions.
League, yeah.
The champions.
And we can watch it now.
We can watch it now thanks to Paramount Plus.
You got
There you
any
go,
picks,
Paramount.
Raj? You got any? I want that Chelsea Atletico Madrid game's going to be good. That's the good one to watch.
Yes. So we got Bayern Munich versus Lazio today. They're going to finish up their game. Bayern's up 4-1 aggregate. And then Chelsea and Atletico, they'll be playing at the same time on the Paramount Plus network. Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. Armand, you got any thoughts on the two games going on today? Bayern Munich, I think, is going to close it out. Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. I have no idea, honestly.
You know, I don't know too much. Think about first off, Bayern. I don't think that's going to be anything to even keep your eye on. They're up 4-1, and that was away, so I think they're home now. So Lazio would need to win what 4-0 or win by 3, but score 5 goals. Are you going to score 5 goals and win by 3 to Bayern Munich? See, people forget about how dominant Bayern Munich has been in the last, as long as Barcelona, Real Madrid, right? Liverpool, who else? Chelsea.
Yep.
Juventus, Man City. Bayern's been there the whole time.
They were
maybe they haven't won all the Champions League, but they've been there the whole time. You look at the years that, Spain was dominating, England was dominating, and the years where they weren't dominating, who won? It was Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich cleans up when no one else can win, but they're always really, really good. It seems like they never get worse. They had these old players 4 years ago. You thought they'd get worse. Nope. They brought new guys. They said North America has some soccer. We're going to look at some of their guys. Now the Canadian back that they have, I don't know, left or right back, Alphonso Davies, I think his name is. He's very good. I don't know the last time Canada has had a top men's soccer player, because I think Sinclair, is that her name, on the women's side? I think she scores a lot of goals, I'll say. I think she owns the record for something with most goals on the international stage. But at least on the men's side for Canada, I don't know anything if they've been to a World Cup. So now Bayern gets one of their guys. They have an American guy. Sorry, I got too obsessed with Bayern.
No, Christine Sinclair is her name.
Okay, I don't think but I don't think that's going to be a match for Bayern Lazio, because they need to lose by that amount. They need to lose by either 4 or lose by 3 and get scored on at least 5 times. The other thing is Chelsea Atletico Madrid. Raj is saying, Lazio takes a fat L. I agree. Says Chelsea goes to extra time. Chelsea's got that new manager, a guy who came from PSG after they let go of Lampard, their old guy, their old player.
Frank.
But they only won 1-0. Is Atletico Madrid on top of their league, Raj? I think they are.
Yes,
yeah, I'm looking right now.
La Liga.
They're winning by 4 points against. They're 4 points above Barcelona, and Barcelona's 2 above Real Madrid. And they all have 27 games. They're playing pretty well. They got Luis Suarez, and he's doing really well this year. They lost 1-0. They're going to be away. I don't know. I think that's going to be the match to watch, because it was 1-0. So that means Atletico needs to. I think they are away this game. So. Yes. Atletico needs to win by 2 or win 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, 5-4. Either win 2-0. You score 2 goals and you win, you just get to 2 goals and then win the game. You got 2. Those are their 2 goals for the game, is to score 2 goals and win the game.
Boom. If you want every possible scenario that can happen, you go to Armand.
Stop. Yeah,
He puts
maybe.
it all into Excel sheet. Quick question. You know who you already said the women's soccer player with the most career goals on the international stage. Do you know who the men's soccer player
Do
is?
I know who the men's is? Do I know who the men's is? Let me say who it's not. The men's leader in international goals.
Is not.
So first of all, the women's. The leader's Sinclair.
Yep, Christine.
Then I believe it goes, what's her face? Wambach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's Mia Hamm.
I'm not looking at the list right now.
okay.
I didn't pull that one up.
Okay. So you said the men's. Who is it not? Raj, you can guess, but I don't think you're going to be fast enough because it's not Ronaldo. He'll get it one day though. He's quick. He'll get there. I think he's down by 9. Not Messi, not Maradona, not Pele, not who? Who's the greatest soccer player of all time? Not him, not him, not him, not him, not him. Who scored the most goals in men's international soccer? A former Bayern Munich player by the name of Ali Daei, who represented Iran, took him to a World Cup, maybe 2 World Cups. But my dad says something about Iranian players. They're lazy. So, they go to Bayern Munich because and there was a guy at the time, Ali Karimi. He also went to Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
They got the 2 Alis. Last name Ali and first name Ali. Easiest name for people to say. They got them, and I don't think they really played much at Bayern Munich. They went to the best team, one of the best teams. They didn't do much, sold some jerseys. Everyone knows my dad. When I was telling my dad about some Champions League games yesterday, or actually a few weeks ago, and I mentioned Gladbach, but I couldn't pronounce their name. My dad corrected me. I'm thinking, how does he know this team's name? They probably watched a lot of German soccer. Was it because of these guys? I don't know. Was it because of other things? I don't know. But yeah, he has the most international goals, an Iranian guy. Ronaldo will get it one day. That's probably a better name to have as the leader, but that's a true trivia fun fact.
It is. It really
don't know that. And my dad would say that it's going to be hard for people to break that record because Iran would play against some of these islands, some of these teams where they'd just be crushing them. I mean, was that on Iran or was that on the other team just being bad? I don't know, but they were just no mercy, just crushing them. So, of course, someone who's argued as the greatest goal scorer of all time, he might break that record. So that does make sense. But for now, and it was since,
how long has the record been? How long has he held the record though at the top? Because it's been a while.
I don't know how long it's been. Maybe 15 years, because he stopped playing for Iran in 2006. So. He has 109 goals. I don't know when he broke the record. He broke the record in 2004. So, it's been going on for a while. It will probably not hit 20 years. Because I think Ronaldo probably has 100. Mm-hmm. And Ali Daei has 109. They went to the World Cup. I think he went to a couple World Cups. They didn't do anything in 2006. They lost to Mexico. They were in Portugal's group. There was a young guy by the name of Cristiano Ronaldo in that group. And I think Angola was in that group. Yeah, who? No. You want to hear about Ronaldo, that 06 World Cup. See, people don't have the few World Cup ago memories that I have.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Portugal was booing him. And I never understood that as a young kid. This is your young star who didn't kick a penalty kick in that semifinal game. I believe it maybe did go to penalty kicks. You're going to have to fact check me on that. But they played against France in the World Cup semifinals because he took them to a 4th place finish. They were booing him, and it felt like Portugal wasn't respecting their new star.
Right.
And that's just an interesting thing. He was a young kid. I think that was before he went to Manchester United.
Yes.
And a fun fact about Portugal, they were coming off runner-up finish in the Euro 2004. You know who they lost to in the Euro in 2004?
Bayern Munich?
No. They lost to a country.
Oh, country. Sorry. Portugal, they lost to...
a top team by the name of Greece. My
Oh,
dad tells me this. Greece played defensive the whole game, scores 1 goal. They win 1-0. I think they may have been at home too. Greece won the Euro. Greece isn't a dominating soccer football team. So Portugal went there, then goes to World Cup, and obviously they won Euro in 2016. But you know,
some more trivia questions. You now know who the 2 leading goal scorers all time
on the men's
both,
side.
and the women's side too. You got Christine Sinclair too, who actually has more goals than the men's record by 40 something. And then now you know who won the 2004 Euros over Portugal.
Yeah, Greece.
Greece. I love that. That sounds like what Byron's game plan is going to be. Just all defense, no offense. Who do you have? Who do you have winning your NCAA tournament?
I have 2 brackets so far. First one had to do Gonzaga.
Right.
Gonzaga's that team that is every year. Everyone thinks they're going to win. The only way they don't win is if they don't win. I think I just cracked the code. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard to beat them when you haven't beat a team. When the team hasn't lost, and they look really good while they haven't lost, and they beat good teams, and they've crushed other teams. How do you beat them? When they have 3 top players and then some, they got a coach who's been thirsty for a ring at a school that, who knows, what do we call them a few months ago? I texted you, are these the new bloods?
Yeah, the new bloods.
He wants to be a new blood, but you said something. The thing about the Blue Bloods is they dominated, decade in, decade out.
Yes.
Whether they did win a title or not, they still were dominating, and we've seen how they've controlled a conference or a region or
it's been the first time in over 30 years that Duke and Kentucky both haven't made it to the national tournament. I don't know what it would have been if KU wouldn't have made it.
Well, KU hasn't made it since '89, and that was because of a ban.
Right. That was Larry Brown, right? Coach Brown.
Brown left after '88, so that was actually Mr. Roy Williams,
who was caught with the scandal.
Well, the scandal. This is what I heard. I never looked into it. Apparently, it was my uncle told me this. I don't know how true it is. But
which
it was
uncle?
It was Uncle Hottie who told me this. The one who gave us the coffee, by the way. We never reported on this coffee. I know you might be a few weeks ago. Okay, I don't know what she's saying. But he told me it was because a player needed a jacket. So the coach goes, buys a jacket, gives it to the player, and he gets in trouble. Yeah. I think I heard it was something along the lines of, honestly, the coach was helping the player with something, but they banned them. So it wasn't really scandal per se. But yeah, they missed '89. That was the last time they missed
the national tournament.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament. But yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, going back to the conversation about Gonzaga, yeah, you got to until someone beats Gonzaga and proves that they can beat Gonzaga, until that team loses, then I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. I just lost my thought.
I don't even have any because Lily just threw out Mark Few. What?
I think something happened with Mark Few a few weeks ago.
Lily's funny. She's learning from me. What was I?
Something about Gonzaga's coach, Mark Few. I don't know if he got caught with a scandal a few weeks ago.
No, he didn't. I think you remember I texted you once. Mark Few losses. That's his name. But okay, who do you have winning? And I'm gonna do a counter. If you're gonna say Gonzaga, my next question is, who do you have winning if it's not Gonzaga?
Okay. Well, I haven't filled out a bracket yet because I haven't taken time. Yeah, boo me all you want. Yeah. I got till Friday to do one. You know what? That's what's so great about the tournament this year. Thank you, COVID, for pushing it back towards the weekend when people can actually watch it instead of, going back to the old school days back in school where they had to bring the TV out or they'd put it up on the smart board. You'd be missing games while in class. In high school, in grade school, middle school.
There's some great memories. There's some great memories with watching games in school, college, high school.
Exactly. My favorite right now to win is Illinois. I like
Okay.
Illinois winning it. I think they were put into the easiest region,
Hmm.
because they're. I think the toughest matchup that they're going to have is against Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State
I
when
think you
they
said Kate Cunningham.
play. What?
Uh, I'll talk for him. You know, Armand, I think Kansas is gonna have
Did I
Kansas.
lose again? I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
right here.
you lost again. Yeah, yeah. Come back.
Illinois is going to win.
So you were saying Illinois versus Kansas in the title game?
No, it's going to be
Oh,
Illinois versus Gonzaga, but I like Illinois. I'll take Illinois to beat Gonzaga in a national championship because, like I said, their toughest matchup in their region will probably be against Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham, and that will be a Sweet 16 game because I'm looking at the bottom half of their region,
hmm.
and I just don't see a team like Syracuse, the 11 seed. They could pull it out and come and make it to the Elite Eight against Illinois because the Midwest region is just built up with some teams that had a bad finish to their season, teams who started off bad. I just don't have a lot of confidence in. Like Oregon State, Georgia Tech, yeah, they won their conference championships respectfully, but I just don't know if those teams will do matched up against an Oklahoma State team, an Illinois team. West Virginia, we saw we saw them choke against Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tournament. I don't know how confident I am about this West Virginia team making it to the Final Four. It's just that right there. Illinois will have the easiest trip, but I think they also will beat Gonzaga. That's who I like in this tournament. If I had to pick a big upset one or a team that
Who's a team outside the top? I don't know, outside the top four that you think could make the Final Four, outside the top four seed?
Alabama. You
Okay.
got me on the Alabama hype train.
Okay. Well, they are a 2 seed, but
Oh, you said top 4 teams. I thought you
yeah,
meant just the
because
one.
you said
Oh,
you
sorry.
said butts upset, You said upset, so I'm thinking
Let's see.
because
Missouri. No.
okay, because you said that, I was holding, but now I need the permission to make fun of you because I got a little bit of
Maybe
a
UConn or Colorado.
yeah.
A surprise team. Syracuse, but
Well,
Syracuse because they've done it as an 11 as a high seed.
the last 7 years, there's been a team outside the top four seeds to make the Final Four.
What teams were they?
In 2013, Wichita State. 2014 had a final. Oh, sorry, Wichita State 9 seed 2013. 2014, it was 7 seed Connecticut, UConn, that won it all against 8 seed Kentucky in the final. You had Michigan State as a 7 seed in 15. Syracuse as a 10 seed, the first 10 to make the Final Four in 2016. South Carolina in 2017 as a 7. Loyola Chicago with 2 Blue Valley Northwest players. You know, shout out Skis. Loyola Chicago in 2018. And then Auburn, that 5 seed, was a 0.7 seconds away from going to the national title game. So you had people all around from 5 to 11 make it. And then that year that none of them did was when Kentucky beat Kansas in the championship game. But before that, you had that year where VCU as an 11 made it and Butler as an 8, who was a 5 the previous year, went back-to-back runner-ups.
Right.
So what did I say? The last 7?
7.
The 6 or 7. Well, then last 8 out of 9, right? The last 8 out of 9 have seen someone make it, and a couple had 2 who fit that outside the 4 seed make it. So we'll see. Did you answer the question?
Yeah, I said Syracuse. I really like Syracuse because, like I said, they've done it before. Jim Boeheim, experienced coach. They played really well against a tough. Who was it? Was it Virginia? They played in the tournament and they lost to on the game winning 3 on the conference tournament. I believe it was. They lost to a good Virginia team.
Buzzer, I remember.
Huh?
Virginia did win on a buzzer.
On a buzzer beater. On a buzzer beater 3, yeah. So that's why I like Syracuse because I think whoever they play, they're a tough team and they're gonna play them to the end. A fun team that I'm curious to watch is Georgetown, with Patrick Ewing with Patrick Ewing leading them because we've seen teams before who won the Big East make a run into the make a run in the national tournament. Specifically speaking, UConn back during the Kimba days. So I like Syracuse and Georgetown. Those two high,
Georgetown,
double seeded teams. What's your guaranteed upset in the first round? Do you have any guaranteed upsets?
Guaranteed upset. Well, I made two guaranteed upset. Winthrop.
Okay.
Winthrop beating Villanova.
If it's a gut feeling, it's a gut feeling because that's what. And so that's what times with upsets are.
Winthrop. About. Who have they played? I don't know, but they've only lost one game this season. Okay, I say this: a team who loses one game, a pretty good team. Okay, they haven't really played real teams, but yeah, their loss was to UNC Asheville by 2. But earlier in the season, did they play anyone? No, they didn't. You're not helping my argument. But
me?
They're no Winthrop. They're 23-1. They're on a 7-game winning streak.
You don't need a formal argument. It's a gut. It can be a gut check. Gut feeling.
Their last few games, they've won by 27, 21, and 29. So they're feeling it. They're feeling it in March. They haven't played since March 7th. And Villanova's star point guard, Colin Gillespie, he's out. So he was out for the season, I think, after their March 3rd game against Creighton. And they lost 2 of their next 3. So, Villanova is they got the makings for that team to be upset, which is weird because I was saying I don't want to play Villanova in this tournament. I was saying that all year because I hate playing Villanova at all because KU can never beat them. They haven't beat them probably since the 2008 tournament in the Sweet 16. So, and I remember even then they had lost the last time they had met in the tournament. So I don't know. Another new blood in Villanova.
They're on the other side of the bracket, and the only way if KU plays them is if both teams make it to the national title.
Let's see what happens. I think
I like Morehead State because there's always one Big 12 team that gets upset in the first round. We got like Baylor and Georgia. Was it Georgia State, Georgia Southern a few years ago?
It was Georgia. It was Georgia State.
Georgia State. You had Texas losing to Nevada. 1 year. So if I had to pick a team in the Big 12 that's going to get upset,
because UAB won that year that Georgia State won.
Yeah, there you go. UAB beat Iowa State. You're right. Yep. I'm going to take Morehead State over West Virginia. Morehead's one of those teams that's had a Cinderella run before.
They have.
I think that the March Madness sprinkle will be going over the Morehead State team. I don't know exactly what I was trying to say there. The upset dust is going to get spread on the Morehead State team.
If you want a crazy upset, I'll consider that crazy upset because it's 14-3. I'll give you another 14-3. Okay. Colgate, another team that's lost one game. Brush your teeth. It's Colgate. They're playing Arkansas, right?
Yep.
I don't know. Arkansas's lost to Mizzou, so they can lose. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. These one-loss teams are out to show something because people always say they haven't played anyone. They want to say we're just as good as that next guy because we only have lost once. We've only had one bad game. That's what they want to say. So this is their time to prove. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, whatever seed they are. I feel like they want to be doubted, and they'll show up. Maybe them not playing a good team means they got that opportunity. It's take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime within the lifetime of the opportunity. We've seen teams take advantage. Now it's those teams' turn. We'll see. It's been a crazy year outside of sports and crazy year for college basketball. And maybe those are both, what is it called? Understatements or whatever. But crazy year, you expect a crazy tournament. So that's why it's exciting. Thursday's that first 4. We got Friday. We'll see what happens Friday, Saturday, and we'll see if we're going to be happy campers Sunday, Monday. Both of our teams are playing. Is Mizzou playing Friday or Saturday?
They play Saturday at 6:20 against Oklahoma. They have not given me a reason to feel confident in them going into this game.
All right.
We'll see what happens. If Oklahoma's hot and Brady Meek's playing at his top level, I'm my heart's there for Missouri, but my mind just says they haven't shown me anything because you know what they don't do? They don't adjust. They don't make any adjustments at all. And for some reason, people who shouldn't be shooting threes, I'm not going to say names, still feel like they should shoot a three at the wrong moment. We talked about Armand. This is a selfish team made of selfish
Except
players.
for one player.
Except for one player, and he was the first team All SEC this year, Damon.
And you're saying he's got to be selfish.
He's got to be selfish. He has.
And maybe
to.
they got to play Brown more. Maybe they got to play Parker Brown more.
Probably. Hey, both
Maybe
Brown
see
brothers
what you
are
can
in
get out of him.
Fox Sports, the story on the Brown family. It's going to be a busy weekend for the old Blue Valley Northwest players out there.
Shocker.
I wish Christian Parker, right? Parker, you said Parker? Christian
Brown,
and Parker. I hope both of their teams win this weekend. I really hope so. It's going to be a busy weekend for the Brown family, though.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I do got to say something about you and Mizzou.
Yeah.
I remember they made the top 10, and that was when KU, I think so. That was when KU left the rankings. And me and Terrell are sitting back there, in our usual spots. You're in the kitchen. And you had said something, and you weren't really talking up, but on Twitter, that athletic director who I think should be at
Not
fault
athletic
a
director.
little.
It's a guy who works within the communications in the athletic department.
Okay, someone in the athletic department. Sorry, I think its title is assistant athletic director of
someone
blank.
that shouldn't be talking smack.
Well, he shouldn't be talking about. I'm big on the jinx factor, and what did he do? He wanted me to have the jinx factor correct because he kept jinxing. But you had finally even said something along the lines of, "Well, it's funny. My team's in the top 10, and your guys' teams are out of the rankings." I remember me and Terrell both looked at each other, just made a face. I don't know if you remember. We just made a face because I was thinking in my head all this time, they're going to start falling. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it was immediately that and I'm not going to blame it on you because that coincided with that guy who couldn't stop getting off his phone, who was part of the athletic department. And I think after that, they went on a 2 or 3 game losing streak, maybe lost 3 or 4 and left the rankings.
4 straight. And Jeremiah Tillman got hurt and was out for 4 straight games.
And he also had, that kind of sucked because he also had, a side thing, a family issue, right? Think he had a passing that he had to take off for, and he's one of your better players. But I bashed Mizzou. I have my uncle Matt is a Mizzou fan. You're my roommate. You're a Mizzou fan, so maybe I got to show a little respect. What does Mizzou need to do to have a? You're right, Raj. I'll put in my cover letter right now. What does Mizzou need to do to have the biggest upset in college basketball? One of the biggest upsets in college basketball history, I should say, to not only beat Oklahoma but beat Gonzaga. What can they do?
They need to do what Greece did in the Euro finals against Portugal and just play all-out defense. I don't know because Missouri does not do well with keeping up with high-scoring teams because they'll have a great first half and then they'll just shut down scoring in the second. So I don't know what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to keep up with the scoring, which that's an Armand answer, the obvious.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
that's exactly it. They're gonna have to play unselfish basketball, and that's one thing that they haven't shown that they can do this year. Now they could get lucky and force Gonzaga to get in some foul trouble. They could get lucky and Gonzaga has half of their team catch COVID. That's the worst case scenario. Because get this, if you can still field a team of 5, you can still play your game in the national tournament. As long as you got 5 healthy players that can play 40 minutes, your team can stay in it.
Doesn't matter if they can play 40 minutes. You just need 5 players. These are 15 roster lineups, just 5 of them.
Yes, exactly. So that's something that Missouri's going to have to do. But yeah, you're right. They're going to have to beat Oklahoma first in this one. Dang, I was getting ready to end the show, but then Raj just comes in. I haven't even looked at the NIT bracket yet, but I'll let you know. We'll be back. We will have a show on Friday morning before the games start. We're going to see what times the first games start at. We'll make sure we get a show 11. In beforehand. Yeah, if it's at 11, maybe we'll do an earlier show at 9 a.m., 9:30 show, just so we can do a quick NCAA tournament one to get ready. Armand is going to put in his application and cover letter for the KU athletic department. We're going to spam the phone calls right now. But going back to the Missouri guy, this is a Team Jesse Newell show. We defend Jesse on this show. We do not defend the communications department person that is going to get bashed on as soon as Missouri loses to Oklahoma on Saturday night.
I really think he should have, and it's not proven. It's not a fact. It's not even science, but I think he should have a little bit of the blame. I'm not even kidding.
No,
he made it well known.
And it was the second time that someone came after Jesse. The first time was when Missouri made it into the top 25. And Jesse
wasn't he the same guy who went after Jesse multiple times?
Two different guys. It was two different guys in the department. And then Rod, the Bears offered 3 first rounds and 2 starters for Russell Wilson. The Bears, Mitch Osterland, I had asked him about it. He's a friend of the show. Talked to him about the Bears. He's a Bears fan. He said, you know what? No, I didn't want Russell Wilson if it meant trading the future, because right now, if Matt Nagy is the head coach of the Bears, then I just want him to keep sucking and just rebuild for the future. And I think that's a spot on position for the Bears. Do not go out and put all your chips on the Russell Wilson just so you can compete in the division, because you still have to go up against the Packers. The NFC is a tough conference. And if you're gonna want to be there in the future, then you better protect it, and that's keeping your first round picks and your starters like Khalil Mack and Kyle Fuller on the defensive side. If you're only a quarterback away, look into this draft. If Mac Jones falls to you, Chicago, get him. Get a young quarterback. Do not rush for the future. And that's me coming off with I'm giving credit to Mitchell on that one, because he's the only Bears fan I've seen so far who didn't want Russell Wilson.
And that makes a lot of sense, because you see right now, Wilson, he's arguing he doesn't have an offensive line. His receivers outside of DK, well, he's got good receivers. His defense isn't as dominant as it used to be. Maybe his receivers are good, but, he doesn't have all the things around him. Mitch is right that he comes to Chicago. He's not going to have things around him if they're giving away 3 first-round picks and 2 starters.
Armand, quick reminder, we're going to end this on a kindness note. Always remember to be kind to your Uber drivers. Did you hear about the girl that had spit on her Uber driver?
She even assaulted, and then did you see what Lyft tweeted? Yeah, I heard about that. Lyft even tweeted, because I think she said something, I'm going to drive Lyft now. Lyft tweeted, it wasn't even their issue. They said, listen, we're banning this person from Lyft. It wasn't even our issue, but we can't have that happen in our company. So it's just bad people, and you're right. Be nice, be kind. Is it really that hard?
Rumor has it, and this is just going through Twitter, and I got to look at she could be facing up to 20 years in prison for her acts. When the world's a bad place, kind of like what it is right now, the current world we live in, there's a lot of bad. Do not be a part of that bad. If you can be good to the people who are working during a pandemic, be kind to them. Do not spit on anyone. Do not hit anyone. We do a segment on our radio show I work for called "What Is Wrong with You," and she was a candidate one day on the show. Do not be that person. Just a reminder, do not be that person. Be a good person. Have a heart of gold. That's a St. Patrick's Day kind of reference there. A pot of gold. Replace your heart with a pot of gold. Have a rain. See, I don't know, man. I don't even know where I'm going with this right now, because I'm just like thinking, why would you spit on someone in general? Not even during a pandemic, but why would you spit on someone who's just working, on an Uber driver? Someone. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, that's Coffee's On for today. Happy Wednesday to you guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and your Thursday tomorrow. And we'll be back Friday, whether it's 10 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. We're going to get a show in before the NCAA tournament starts, because we know we're going to be spending our day just in front of a TV, enjoying the first half of games in the round of 64 for the first time. Man, when that song comes on.
Yeah, we got to be here because it's March. It's March, baby. Yeah. Be kind, be safe if you're doing anything tonight, and we'll see you guys Friday
on Coffee's On.
Coffee's On with Marco and Armand.
I thought it was Armand and Marco. Oh, no, you like to rhyme.
We've been over this. You even said, I keep forgetting.
See ya.